I'm Amy the Seventh with a message. In its all relevant knowledge, intelligence, beauty, elegance, wisdom in a prism. Free your brain from the prison. Be kind, be significant. Time to listen in. Be kind, be significant. Live magnificent. It's time to listen in. Be kind, be significant. Time to listen in. What's up, everyone? It's your lady Amy the Seventh with another episode of Pretty Woman Speaks. And tonight I speak of exhaustion. Okay, for this Christmas holiday, for this Kwanzaa Eve, for this, for those who are still celebrating Hanukkah, you name it. There's a lot of religions this month that are celebrating that of gratitude, joy, peace. But there are families out here right now who are not at peace. And I am exhausted because this week all I spent was chasing breaking news of a child shot and killed, or a child striking a tree and killing themselves and injuring several other kids. The state of our children right now, I don't know if there is an alarm being sounded, but there needs to be an alarm sounded for our children, for our kids. I was talking to my mom, and I just now realizing, because I'm 32, that I'm old enough to have these children who are not being blocked on the offensive line. I don't think that the state of our children is being paraded enough, that it is in dire restraints. There are families right now who need help. I mean, when I look at the stats, because I spent a lot of time this week gathering stats because I wanted to know just how affected kids are when it comes to firearms. Just in Toledo alone, they had a 14-year-old Terrence Green and a 16-year-old who was a star cornerback, Eric Scott, gunned down. Scott was 16, Terrence was 14. And we still have no idea why, the motive behind neither death. We know that Terrence Green, there were two adults who were charged with premeditated aggravated murder of Terrence Green. So Jermaine Johnson and Michaela Anderson have been charged in the shooting death of Terrence Green. Now, Terrence Green was just a freshman. They are 24 and 26. And so I'm really curious as to what adults had, what led up to a kid being gunned down, but gunned down by adults as well. And then we have Eric Scott, an up-and-coming star cornerback, gunned down as well the week before Christmas. And then we have a teen, Ace Cuellar, who unfortunately struck a tree in Springfield Township in Ohio and end up dying, and then injuring other teens that were in the car. And so I'm wanting to know what is going on with our kids. And let's not forget families who are grieving the loss of their children. But it's ridiculous. It's just how often kids are dying. And according to the American Pediatric, gun deaths have risen sharply among kids. And in fact, The analysis by the study shows that the rate of firearm fatalities among children under 18 increased by 87% from 2011 through 2021. And so, for this podcast episode, which won't be long, I want to take the time out to remember those who lost something or someone this year. 2023 was the year of seven, definitely a year of reflection, a year of completion, and a year of just understanding and full circle. And so, in the midst of those who felt like this year was just very draining and felt like there was just lots of loss, I want to take this time out to pour into you, to remember you, and to celebrate you, because it's a big deal to continue to overcome when life drains so much out of you. Um, Especially for those families who are grieving at what some say the most wonderful time of the year, but it's not for everybody. And I don't want to lose those who are losing themselves because the loss is just unimaginable. This month has been so trying with covering people who lost homes right before the holidays, covering children who are hungry, who are sleeping under park benches, dealing with organizations who are strapped for food and resources because they are exasperated at the amount of families that come to them because the crisis for hunger is at an all-time high. The crisis for those who are without housing is an all-time high, and then on coupled with that, you're dealing with families who are grieving the loss of kids. And unfortunately for black and brown kids, according to Everytown Gun Safety, they are 7 times more likely than those of their counterparts to be killed by gunfire. And so we're at a point right now in this country where an alarm needs to be sounded, because our kids, our future, right? They said kids are our future. Well, they are at stake right now. And I don't know if we are really aware at just the alarm that's happening with our youth right now. I mean, 3 kids killed in 1 week in one area, 2 by gunfire, 1 by cars. And that's no brainer. I mean, you can search the well, and you can look from Memphis to Detroit to St. Louis. It doesn't matter. You're going to find a headline where a child was shot, a child was killed. And it's never ending. And for someone who covers this side where you hear from parents and the friends of the teens, of the child who cry about another empty dinner plate, another empty Christmas, another empty birthday cake, it's so surreal. And so this Christmas, this blue holiday, take time out to remember those who are dealing with loss. This is another episode of Pretty Woman Speaks. I am Amy the 7th. Be sure to tune in because it is New Year and it's year 2024. And I told y'all this Kobe year is Black Mamba. And we gotta come in tough, y'all. It's time to go after what I want because, as I said before, we don't have time. And as my grandma would say, there's no age limit when it comes to getting up out of here. And so, know that when it's your time, it is your time. But make sure that before you go, you put a footprint on this earth that is memorable for all. Y'all have a good Christmas. And y'all, please put the guns down and slow down on the airways.
So listen to this. I'm Amy the 7th with a message.